What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 10 of my Total Warhammer 3 Drycha Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, we have moved north and have finally sighted NAKAI, who we've been trying to chase down with Drycha for a little while now, and in fact is the main reason why we declared war on this lizard faction in the first place. I'm pretty happy with that, as long as NAKAI is actually willing to fight us and is not afraid to do so, which does have me concerned. That said, he has moved down here, which makes me think that perhaps he should come in and attack us. I guess we'll see. I really don't want to give chase to him, but I suppose we could always use Zoltothios, or Colas rather, of the Lost here, in order to ambush NAKAI with the Drycha. There's potential for that as well. She has probably fairly decent amount of ambush chance as well. Stance, masterful ambush, conceals the allow, surprise attacks, yada yada yada. I wonder what the chances of ambush here. 75%. And 100% here. Ooh. Okay, yeah, with 100% available in some places, we should be able to make it happen. Anyway, in addition to that, the main portion of last episode was a massive fight against, what's-his-face, Festus by Tala Bitterbark. He is now, I guess, going to be one of our lords, because we can't let him go now that he's defeated Festus here, so, yeah, third army on the field. It does mean that we're losing about 3,000 gold per turn, though, so we'll probably have to retool this, at least somewhat, in order to be able to support this. I'm tempted to let the Manticore and the bats go. They're not costing us a crazy amount, but 300 money per turn for some bats, probably not necessary. And then another 200 for the Manticore. See, the thing is, Manticores don't appear that often, so it makes me think that maybe we keep the Manticore around to eventually trade to our beast army, which is currently led by Aka, but will probably change later on to a fully beast army, led by a lord that is also using the lore of beasts as well. Colas is going to have to be Treekin plus elves. Tala is obviously going to be all dryads and, you know, some trees of various types. And then I guess we'll move Aka to Speaker for the Forgotten, which means he will be using a bunch of treemen as well as a decent amount of, well, he'll probably keep a decent amount of his current wild spirits. We'll just have to make a new Speaker of the Wild in a beast lore. That sounds good to me. We'll see if that works out. Now, let's see what we have to do here. Colas, we will not actually start with you, we'll start with Aka. Aka, I guess we're going to send you out to Khazid Irkulaz, because Dusty here is probably going to move there. It does mean we are in march stance, so there is potential danger. But we've defeated similar armies in the past. Oh wow, well, that's a lot of Orc Boar Boys. But we have so much anti-large here that I think Aka should be able to deal with it. We will, however, apply our skill points here, just in case. Now we could keep going through this and get Quartermaster. I feel like every single lord belonging to our faction does need Quartermaster, probably without exception, for the reason that we're going to have a very limited number of armies that we can build, because, well, we're basically limited by the number of trees, assuming that every tree will give us the ability to build one army. And there is a decent number of trees, but we can't be everywhere at once, and it'll take a while to get them all. So yeah, Quartermaster seems like the way to go, as long as we actually have enough points to do everything else. That said, just to contradict myself a little bit here, we probably want to get Dwellers Below relatively quickly. You do have the mana to actually be able to cast it, unlike Drycha's force right now. So maybe we wait on Quartermaster, and we go through your casting tree. So let's get another point in Earthblood, because it's just too good not to have. And I guess 1 point in... Gotta go with Shield of Thorns. Shield of Thorns is pretty good. Unfortunately, while Flesh to Stone, rather, is good itself, it would probably only be applicable to Aka, as it can only be applied to one unit. And at 14/13 Winds of Magic cost, I feel like we're probably better off just casting a Shield of Thorns and an Earthblood, essentially. Especially if we have points in those. Or just casting a Regrowth. Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it, Flesh to Stone. Maybe there are certain niche situations where this could be very helpful, like we're moving in with Aka and Akka's getting focused down by like 10 units of range, and thus we need the physical resistance, but otherwise it seems like other spells would be better used. Anyway, let's get Tempered Rigor for you, though I don't still expect you to be fighting too much melee, and we'll leave Akka here to potentially get attacked by Dusty. We'll see. I also really would like to actually colonize these territories just to give them to Vlad, so we gotta keep an eye on that as well. Though it is costly, Vlad will at least love us for it. Kolis and Drycha. Okay, so Drycha, let's move you into Shiwu. Although, do we want to spend some of your points now? You have Wonders of the Forest. The thing about Drycha, though... okay, well, first of all, I guess we can get Natural Order. We will be getting more Dryads soon, or branch rates, rather, soon. But yeah, unlike the other lords, Drycha has more points that need to be spent unless we don't go too deep into her magical tree. She does have the only use of the Lore of Shadows, though, in this army. And Pit of Shades is a pretty damn great spell, and frankly, so is Occam's Mind Razor. Yeah, alright, fine. We'll go Rally for now. We'll go... Shield of the Forest is for Dryads, whereas Swift and Sturdy, the Forest's Roar, is Treekin and Treemen. Do we want to buff the Dryads? I feel like we want to buff the Dryads because they're more likely to actually get damaged. Let's go Dryads, Shield of the Forest, then let's go Stand Your Ground, then we'll get the Forest's Roar right after that. It's not like we have a crazy amount of Treemen and Treekin right now, and honestly, it's not like they're in need of any help. Also, I'm still on the fence about which of these aspects to go for this ancient, or malevolent rather, Treeman. I'm still thinking we just go straight up Aspect of Oak. And then again, he's not getting damaged a lot, so would... 10% physical resistance for another 75 armor-piercing weapon damage? It's okay. And this is a loss of armor-piercing weapon damage. Honestly, Aspect of the Willow does seem pretty okay on him, but at a loss of 150 armor-piercing, he's not going to be able to kill lords nearly as well anymore. And I kind of don't like that. You know what, screw it, let's just go Aspect of Oak. And honestly, he's getting targeted so much by the enemy ranged units, so, yeah. Maybe I'm wrong, but it just seems that Aspect of the Oak is just more universally usable than the other stuff. Anyway, let's keep going for you, Malevolent Branch Wraiths. I haven't decided on your aspects, but let's get you the Transformation of Kadon, Winds of... or Magical Reserves, rather. Curse of Enra here is useful, we just can't cast it, as we don't have the mana. You know what, let's just get everything here, and then we'll, we're gonna be maxing out these trees anyway, so it's not gonna make too much of a difference. Now, we have Earthblood here, and we have the Dwellers below, which, once again, we don't have the mana to cast, but let's, keep going through this tree, like so. Wait, no, you know what? Screw Magical Reserves, do this. We'll get Magical Reserves after. I'd rather have 1 point in regrowth just in case there's an emergency need to heal Drycha or the Tree Man, for example, under the attentions of NAKAI. Now, Drycha, move to Shiwu. And it looks like it's low casualties. I'm almost tempted to auto-resolve this. This will cause us more casualties, but here's the thing. I feel like if we take sufficient casualties, we will be more likely to force NAKAI to attack us. And I'd really like to force NAKAI to attack us rather than have him run away. Yeah, you know what? I like that plan. Let's do this. Auto-resolve this. Let's see how much damage. Quite a bit to the Dryads, if nothing else, but yeah, this should make it more likely. Then we will... Do we sack it or do we raise it? Or rather, do we seed it or do we raise it? I guess we still raise it. Like so, ooh, we got Perfect Vigor out of that. Very nice. Seasoned Campaigner, that was a very nice pickup. And let's hope with this damage on us, NAKAI goes for this. Now, NAKAI, how far can you move? We want to move Zoltathios close enough so that he can take Shiwu next turn. Let's put you, like, right, let's say, here. And I'm going to put him into ambush just so that this guy's hidden. We'll be taking over these territories just to trade them to allies. Speaking of allies, wait a second. You are not ready because you are going for the... no, you know what? Build it now. Right? Yeah, build it now. As I was saying, speaking of allies, let's talk to the Western Provinces a second. Let's ask them to join war against Clan Eshin, and let's go for a non-aggression pact as well. I don't really care about the money. There we go, just keep it friendly with them. I like the idea of having the Cathians act as our trading partners, and especially since the jungles of Qi'an are fairly far away from everything, if we surround ourselves with Cathians, they could just protect this place without us having to interfere too much. We still need to heal the place up quite a bit more, though. Yeah, we're not getting enough healing from this. Hopefully another army comes up that we can add stuff to. Also, we need to get you to become our defensive ally. You're not at war with anybody, but if we trade you the Tower of Ashung, still not enough. What about... well, we can't trade you the jungles of Qi'an. Okay, there's another option. Here's the problem. This place is providing... wait, actually, this needs to be replaced with growth, but... if we give them Dai Cheng as well as the Tower of Ashung, they'd probably be willing to ally. We can't offer them Dai Cheng yet. There's also the potential of giving them stuff up here. Okay, you know what? I think we'll have to wait until we deal with NAKAI to figure out what we want to do there. Alrighty, well, I believe that's it. Let's get more levels while we're here, prior to the NAKAI fight. Forest's Roar, I believe I said. So Forest Roar it is, and that's another 15% missile resistance for our tree man. Alright, let's see how that focus works out for the enemy now. He's got 40% missile resistance, another 26% physical. Could probably use some ward, but we can't get any. And just out of curiosity, what do you guys have? 20 ward, 26 physical, and 30 missile. Pretty good. Pretty good. We shouldn't be very susceptible to missile fire from those guys at all. Also, Arcane Conduit for you. We really actually need it. And you can have magical reserves now. Lovely. And just double checking here. Yeah, you have Howl of the Forest. Alrighty, let's end the turn. I think Silver Pinnacle. I'm not going to build that. Let's end the turn, and let's see if NAKAI falls for this bait. I'd love to have a nice cinematic battle with him. Come on, man. We're vulnerable. We're right there. Yes, indeed, he is going to attack us. Beautiful. I have a strong suspicion that he wouldn't have done it if our army had been at full HP. It does say close victory here. And he's also a little bit hurt as well, so at least we're a little bit more even. He has more spells available to him as well. Ooh, interesting. Alright, well, just check out NAKAI's stats here. He has Discouraged, 69, nice melee attack and 47 melee defense, 120 armor. Drake is at 64 and 40, so his stats are better. His stats are better, on paper anyway. And he does have both of his legendary items, doesn't he? Or unique items. Oh, he has a Warrior Bane as well. Interesting. But will this be enough? Somehow I doubt it. Alrighty, here we go. The hunt is over. We have found NAKAI and we're going to get Drycha those glorious 10 melee defense from his defeat trait. On top of that, I just want to point out that NAKAI is NAKAI the Wanderer, and there's only room for one Wanderer in our game, and his name is Akka, not NAKAI. So NAKAI has to go. Sad as it is, and also sad, but his chameleon skinks are gonna have to go as well. And I love these little guys, one of my top favorite units in the entire game. They're just so damn fun to use, but unfortunately for them, they won't be sticking around for too long, at least not in this corner of the world. Now the enemy does have a stag to shoot us with its, ballista. However, we are going to move towards it as fast as we can. I'm gonna get that something of Shrikes, attack of pageant of Shrikes. I'll never remember the name of that ability, confusing it with the Befuddlement of Mischiefs. Pageant of Shrikes on it, reducing its ammunition pretty significantly, below half actually, as well as popping that reload skill down. The range, obviously, not going to matter too much, because we Vanguard deployed within the range of the enemy. Otherwise, we're simply heading directly towards the main battle line. Drycha's running ahead of the rest of the forces, but that's going to be just fine, I'm sure, while our wolves and our supporting units are going to go around and kill all those lovely chameleon skinks. And looks like some chameleon skinks are actually moving close into combat and are going to get hit by some treekin as well. That is not where you want your chameleon skinks to be. Perhaps they were doing this to distract us from the Saurus that decided to move in, or Croxagores rather, that decided to move in the back. But these swords promptly get charged by malevolent dryads and by spiders in the back as well, so I'm not sure that that's going to work out too well for them. Now NAKAI is in the center of the line, going to join the fray, and as we can see, Drycha is heading directly towards him, so that they can get a little bit of a duel going, while our malevolent tree man is working on the enemy Stegodon, as we obviously don't want to leave it here to use its melee attacks on our dryads, which are still quite vulnerable to such things. Over on this side, we have a single unit of willow-aspected malevolent dryads heading towards a unit of Saurus spears, so we're going to get a nice little duel out of them, and they look to be roughly about the same in terms of HP percentage, so we can see directly or exactly who outperforms whom in this particular matchup. We are also getting our giant wolves into position, and those chameleon skinks are about to have a very, very bad day. And lastly, we have our treekin, but also our summoned malevolent dryads popping on top of that skink priest right there, so that they can kill him, and well, he can't cast anything else, hopefully. He's already cast a few breaths, but, you know, it hasn't done so much damage so far. NAKAI's fighting Drycha, though he's going to be knocking Drycha around a little bit, unfortunately, as she doesn't have nearly enough resistance or knockback resistance. She really needs the Grimgore treatment. Especially considering the tree men can essentially root themselves into the ground when they walk. I don't see why Drycha can't do the same thing. Anyway, as we can see in the background, the wolves are absolutely obliterating those poor skinks who are trying to run away, but absolutely in vain. And the battle lines are also starting to contract as the enemy starts to lose units on the flanks. A Saurus unit has collapsed, the skink priest is nearly dead, and then the Croxagores that tried to hit us from the side here got absolutely annihilated for their trouble as well. NAKAI's still at full HP, but the tree man has done a number on the Stegodon, who is now actually trying to attack Drycha here. I guess they were desperately trying to kill Drycha with both of their elites here. And Drycha goes flying again. That must be so irritating. Honestly, this is just making Drycha angrier and angrier, and she was already pretty angry, so yeah, you guys shouldn't be surprised when when everything gets razed to the ground. And there we go, looks like the Steg is out of here, gonna waver, and so are these guys. The duel occurred, and just to see what the results of it are, our Malevolent Dryads barely got hurt in this one-on-one, and the Saurus Spears managed to kill only 3 of them, and barely did any damage, kind of. Huh. I guess, well, yeah, see, the problem with Saurus, as in basic Saurus, is that they have no armor piercing, though these Malevolent Dryads don't have the oak. That 72 armor is still way too much for the poor Saurus to do any kind of real damage to them, and thus they got obliterated. Yeah, definitely one of the early game problems with Saurus, although Saurus are pretty much great throughout the game. Clearly they still have that issue with armor. It's why it's not as easy to fight dwarfs in early game as the lizardmen. I suppose the same thing was probably true of fighting chaos as well. Anyway, it looks like the rest of the enemy army is just about done. They're all running away. NAKAI still remains, as he is unbreakable, but we will be breaking him until he's done. And now he's gonna get surrounded. He tried to break the duel, essentially, the rules of the duel, by sending the Steg to attack Drycha, so now he's gonna reap some of his own medicine as the Tree Man and a few other units help Drycha out as well. Plus, once again, we still haven't gotten enough points into Drycha's actually fighty tree for her to be one-on-one-ing fighter lords like this. And where are you going, NAKAI? I love that animation, though. Looks like he really enjoys doing that, doesn't he? Just running around, smashing everything aside. Pretty great. Credit where it's due, though. You gotta love NAKAI's model, all that scarring and everything. Absolutely glorious. Well, we're about to add a few more scars to him because he should be dropping any second now, surrounded as he is. We're also going to take the opportunity to get a few more heals out, and down he drops. Looks like our tree man actually got the kill. Good job, little buddy. Alrighty, and now it's a simple matter of chasing everybody down, though we've been chasing this entire time that NAKAI has been fighting. Hopefully we can kill most of the enemy units, though the doggos, or the giant wolves rather, are having a little bit of a tough time bringing the Croxagores as they run away. I guess the lack of armor piercing is Well, I guess we're getting a little bit of our own medicine in that regard, since the giant wolves and don't have the armor piercing to easily bring these guys down either. Ah, you're dropping. This guy's going down as well. Good, good, good. And there we go. I do believe that should be pretty much the battle. Nope, there's another unit of Croxagores to be chased down. Alrighty. Yeah, I guess this is one of those situations where we certainly could have used a bear unit or two specifically to chase down the Croxies. Spiders are basically going to do nothing to them at all. Although the spiders do have armor piercing, it's just that they're still very bad at chasing things down. And they just can't seem to attack or whatever. Alrighty, well, we don't have to watch that. Let's just speed it up while the rest of the Croxies get destroyed, while Drycha's healer heals everybody up, and there we go. Close victory, though we did start off hurt a little bit. I think most of the damage was to our Dryads that were part of the front line that got hit by the Stegodon and various units of Croxagores, dishing out splash damage to them. But honestly, it wasn't too bad, and I imagine we can heal up pretty well, and we've got our trait. Alrighty, well, his own army may not have been anything crazy in terms of threatening, but NAKAI himself was certainly a tough customer. So good job to him and his 5,000 damage, 2.5k on the Steg, and then everybody else was probably relatively minimal. Actually, looks like one of the Croxies did fairly okay damage at 4.5k, probably to one of our Dryads units. Still, fun little battle. I think we're going to heal up a little bit as we do have to move northward, or continue moving northward, and 1,500 money, while decent, isn't all that much. And also we'll probably be wanting to take more money as, or more healing right now, as it also provides Winds of Magic, which we clearly need. Vlad wants to join, or wants us to join war. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that for a number of reasons. We also don't want to make the dwarfs weaker right now, because we want to kill them for Durthu, so that we can confederate him. That'll certainly be one of the goals shortly. Recruiting surplus now, great. Not all that helpful at the current time. Foolish vainglory. They say you revel in victory. They say you spend more time erecting monuments to battles past than managing the realm. They say you are a fool. We'll see who's the fool. War fervor is what we're going for. And enemy hero success chance, meh. There we go. This is why we declared war. Melee attack plus 10 for or melee defense rather, plus 10 for Drycha. And this is also another reason why, if we get around to it, we may go down to Orion's camp, declare war on Krokgar, and do the get Saurus Smiter, which is also another 10 melee defense, because it's just so valuable. Not, to be fair, nearly as valuable on a smaller lord like Drycha is, but her melee defense was quite weak, and she still needed it. I want her to be able to actually duel things and kill everybody. Ally begins outpost construction, great for ally. Drycha, move in and kill the rest of this, please. This looks odd. Oh, look, they have a little slan here. Auto-resolve this. See how much damage we take for this. Only 20 lost, yeah, it's not so bad, and we'll heal and get a little bit more magic as well. What are we at here? 67, certainly getting there. Dragon Bane, hey, lizard fighting bonuses, great. Zoltathios, or Colas, why do I keep calling you Zoltathios? Zoltathios was the leader of one of Drycha's forces in my Vlad campaign, and now anytime I see an ancient tree man, I think of a Zoltathios. Honestly, we should probably rename one of them to Zoltathios at some point, just to keep the continuity, if nothing else. You're gonna colonize? Great, and you're gonna build this up, and I just want to see... Did that do anything to our trade agreement? Huh, I think it buffed it up since we could trade with the Ropsmen if we want to. And the question is, do we want to? Or not the Ropsmen, the Great Orthodoxy. And the question is whether we want to, because Vlad probably won't like it very much. And I'd really rather keep Vlad friendly. Now, Drycha, you need to head here, and that's fairly far away. Okay, I guess what we'll want to do is we'll head all the way to the edge of our territory here, so, well, quote-unquote, our territory. March stance to... here. And then maybe we can reach us in one go. We shall see. Oh wow, what is this? They have another stack here. Okay, I'm not gonna pretend I was expecting that, but good for them. Also, how many more territories does this little faction have? Yeah, they're refusing to talk, apparently. Let's just check here. Defenders of the Great Plan have 2. Okay. We should be able to destroy the faction. Sorry, NAKAI. I would have really loved to ally with you. Wait, can you even build outposts with NAKAI? And if you can, all of these places provide garrisons, but they don't provide recruitment availability. So how does this faction even recruit stuff? I don't mean NAKAI, I mean his little mini vassal faction. Huh. Odd. You are gonna get growth, and I would love for you to get growth, but in fact you have a port which we can't delete. Huh, I wonder, does Shiwu count as if it's near to jungles? I somehow doubt it. Not that it's a big deal, mind you. Also, are you guys ready for that defensive alliance yet? No, minus 14. Oh well, just keep getting friendlier with everybody, and hopefully we'll get that defensive alliance eventually. Near to military access for the northern provinces, which is nice. But yeah, we can't grow our jungles properly unless these guys come around, so gotta make it happen. Anyway, Akka, you are... Oh, you're under siege. I was like, wait a second, why are you hurt? Okay, it looks like you'll have another cinematic battle against these guys, which I'm certainly all for. But we do have to figure out what we do here. Tala, you're gonna colonize Beckhofen. And you're gonna rebuild the tree, the growth thing there in a second. Rebuild this, and go for growth. Good. And I want to check on the dwarves here. They're hanging around, and they're probably not going to go and attack us. They very well could, but then they'd be leaving their armies or their territories open for Vlad to take advantage, so somehow I doubt it. Vlad's also doing pretty good with Zufbar by the looks of it. I really don't want all the dwarfs to die, because it's going to be very problematic confederating Durthu if that's the case. We really need to send Akka down here to deal with these guys, and actually maybe we'll send Tala. He doesn't have a full stack, but it's certainly enough to defeat a little army like this. Yeah, probably the way to go. Also, Tala, do you have ever-reaching tendrils? Yes, you do. Okay, so you're good. You're good for now. Now, Griffinwood, you're able to get an upgrade. We could get a garrison upgrade, or we could get more money. Slightly. It's only a slight amount of money increase, to be perfectly honest. It doesn't seem all that worthwhile. We could also keep on saving until we get this, further growth, or this, which is growth everywhere. Yeah, probably gonna go with these two first and ignore the other thing. And I'm just seeing whether we can or want to build any of these. I mean, we could get the Glade Captains if we wanted to. They do have boost income, which might be helpful for our trees, though I'm not entirely sure whether it'll be worth it or not. And I'm still kind of tempted to get the Canopy of Hish everywhere. Actually, getting a level 1 Canopy of Hish would also possibly help our other tree grow a little bit faster, or heal up a little bit faster. Yeah, really want more branch wraiths, though. Why must it be so difficult to get them everywhere? Oh well. I wonder if there's a research that'll increase our capacity for them. We guess we'll find out later on. There's nothing else to do, which means let's get to another battle, shall we? Whose caravan is this? Burning Wind Nomads. Okay, we're already allied with this. Akka, time for you to fight yet again. A Pyrrhic victory by the looks of it, but the auto-resolve is probably not considering the fact that our entire army is anti-large. Yes, it's hurt, but most of the enemy army is large, and not so much in charge. Let's get to it. So stupid. Let's get to it. Ooh, a lovely snowy battlefield as we once again fight the orcs. This should be a pretty interesting battle. Akka's army is pretty damn badly beat up and has not been able to heal up because these guys sieged our damn army. On the bright side, though, they allowed us to attack them, which is which is pretty darn useful in this particular situation, as we are thus not in march stance. They could have attacked us while Aka's entire army was not only hurt, but also in march. So not entirely sure that Dusty here took the right course of action. We also have a nice little copse of trees right in the middle of the forest here, and we're going to try to draw all those trolls and boar boys to fight amidst the trees, where they will suffer debuffs for it. We also have the tiny little garrison here to call upon, and we do have some ranged units who are going to start by annoying some enemy boar boys and pump wagons that are trying to move around our flanks. There we go, the arrows go flying, though honestly kind of hard to spot in this particular map. Still, I do like the map. There we go. The arrows drop down, and here come the bears charging the enemy boar boys in the side, applying some of that anti-large. That is going to be much needed here. Hopefully we can destroy the pump wagons, because it looks like the boar boys want nothing to do with those bears. They're probably very jealous of the bears, and that they probably would prefer them as mounts, I would imagine. Alright, and here comes some wolves to try to help out with that as well, though we do have to be careful to keep the wolves away specifically from the trolls, as they could still be very dangerous to us. Now, it looks like one of the units of war boys is down to half HP, pretty badly beat up, and the Snotling pump wagons are wavering. We've also switched targets with regards to our ranged units, who are now trying to focus down these black orcs as much as they possibly can before these guys close this distance and start doing damage to Aka over here. Aka's out in front of the trees, and I'm hoping what'll happen is essentially the enemy tries to go for Aka but breaks around him, at least in part, wherein the units will attack the rest of the units, but Aka can act as the anchor of the entire battle line, which he frankly should be used to at this point. Also going to get a very decent amount of range coming in from 3 full units focusing Aka at the same time as probably their lord, as well as those black orcs, so we do have to watch out for that. There's also a little flanking action going over on this side as well, some Wildwood Rangers fighting some boar boys, and more bears charging into more Snotling pump wagons, although the Snotling pump wagons will not have a very good time there. Similarly to last time, and we also got more spiders moving in to help out the Wildwood Rangers. Of course, we don't care if the latter die, because they're just a garrison unit, and oh wow, what is this? The Snotling pump wagons killed 3 bears by charging them? Oh, that is shocking. That is absolutely shocking. 3 models dead to that. Okay, I gotta say I wasn't expecting that, like, at all. Like, not even close. I was expecting them to do damage to the infantry, but to kill bear models when these guys have a lot of HP? Surprising. In fact, the Snotling pump wagons there killed more than direct charges by trolls and by boar boys into those bears. Huh. Well, good job to the little gobos there. Credit where it's due. Anyway, let's get back to it. Aka's now in the middle of the greater, I suppose, portion of the enemy forces, and still dueling the enemy lord. This does allow him to, however, use the Assault of Stone bound scroll spell that he has. Not going to do a crazy amount of damage, but every little bit helps. He also has his Treekin and Dryads moving in to reinforce here. And I do like that the Slaves of Zar have a color scheme that's very similar to ours. They should have really asked to join us instead. Ah, you go, Ancient Tree, man. I love watching these things. Alrighty, let's see what we've got. The enemy Black Orcs are lower than half HP now. The enemy Lord is fine, but the units that are in the center line are being pretty badly beat up. Looks like the Orc Boar Boys have finally lost against the Wildwood Rangers in a direct one-on-one, plus the Spider support, and it also looks like the Pump Wagons are being chased off the map by the Giant Wolves here. We can't have them coming back and killing more bears somehow. I'm still not entirely sure how. Our Hawks are also now contributing to the battle, helping by dropping down on the enemy archers and preventing them from continuing to fire on Aka. And they're also getting some help from the Giant Wolves, who of course kill stuff much better than the Hawks do. I think the plan is essentially to get a greater Air Force sort of army in our eventual Wild Spirit army. Because Aka's only going to have about half Wild Spirits and half Treekin or Treeman, I don't know what we're going to do with him quite yet, but yeah, I want a Lore of the Wilds or lure of beasts rather, to wield a bunch of hawks and maybe some manticores, and thus provide them with frenzy and additional buffs. Hopefully in their hands, the hawks will be worthwhile, but in these hands, in regular lord's hands, even with the wild buffs helping you out, I feel like it's not enough. As in the speaker for the wild, whatever the office is. It just feels like it's not enough. They're okay, but they don't get a crazy amount of kills. They're not very good at chasing, and it just seems like they're playing inferior to bears once again. But hey, maybe a proper air force with a couple manticores to help take charges and get damage dished out to them, as well as more buffs via frenzy, will essentially help us get them to where they need to be. Alrighty, well, it looks like the Black Orcs are still fighting, and so is the enemy Lord, though not for long. He's now very wavering, terrified, and I do believe he's out of here. In fact, with the Lord, so goes the rest of the army. It certainly wasn't nearly as long of a battle as I was expecting, but it did get us some nice shots. It's always lovely fighting in these snowy battles, because you could just see everything. Well done, everybody, and Akka stood the test. He stood as the anchor of the battle line and remained relatively unhurt. You gotta love these ancient tree men. There's such great lords. Also, nice. Oh wow, 17,000 damage. Very, very nice. Considering he was being focused down. But yeah, they are just so damn tanky. And he was fighting a lord at the same time as a unit of Black Orcs, both of which should be pretty darn decent against him. And yeah, this is the effect that I was talking about, those roots going into the ground. Just give Drycha that, and stop her getting knocked around by everything. Well, there we go. The battle is ours, the bears moving in a stupid column. But they're gonna have to give chase, and we are going to speed up while the rest of the enemy are destroyed. We will have to give chase to them on the map as well, so everybody has to die here. As much as we can manage, anyway. I feel a couple of the Boar Boy units escaped, but hopefully we can get all the trolls at least. So without the trolls, the enemy auto-resolve is not going to be very viable. Alka's also now perfectly at full HP after a couple more heals, and we're looking pretty good. Another close victory apparently, and we did take some damage on a few units. I think one of the spiders got very badly beat up. The bears certainly suffered, as we saw, especially against those pump wagons, but it all turned out fine, and we gotta remember that we are in our own territory. So as long as we stay here for one turn, we can heal right up. Alrighty, well, we certainly had to work for it a little bit, and unfortunately we didn't heal up because they sieged us, but at the end of the day it's more money, more XP, etc, and the enemy army is pretty much destroyed. I guess we're gonna heal up to counterbalance the fact that we did not get a chance to heal up between the end turn. And a Biting Blade, 45 armor piercing, that's not horrible. At least it's something. What do you currently have? You have that Sword of Anti-Heroes allowing you to get magical attacks. What does Drycha have? Drycha, you have nothing. You have a total of nothing. Oh, you could probably use the Forbidden Rod, though. Actually, would this be better? Yeah, you know what? We need to put it in this particular army, but we'll give it to you. We'll give it to Dada here. Because she could just heal herself with the life thing. I suppose she could heal Drycha as well. How much HP does Drycha have? Actually, not that much more than a regular Branch Wraith. Huh, and in terms of upkeep cost, she costs exactly the same as a regular Branch Wraith. It's a little bit surprising. We will give her the Biting Blade, however. And the Talisman of Protection could probably go on one of our tree men. Man, we really need some better items. It's been fairly difficult to get items, surprisingly, here. You have Sword of Might, Armor of Silvered Steel, Opal Amulet, and you, just to check, have... Oh, you have the Talisman of Endurance. Yeah, you can hold on to that. You don't really need the Featherfoe Torque, but you don't have anything better, so... Alright, destroy this little army remnant. Hopefully don't take too much damage doing this. 13 losses, still way too many, but we'll take a little bit of extra mana for our trouble. a Royal Standard Bearer, a Shrieking Blade, I guess could go on one of our Dryads in theory. And then we have to decide whether we need to bail out our friends here next turn. What's the likelihood that they win? Well, if they keep sieging, they might. We also need to head to Nashrek's lair, and we also need to head out to Karakadrin, so there's a lot for us to do. Hopefully before all the dwarfs get destroyed. Is Karazakarak still alive? It looks like the Crooked Moon... Huh. And they seem to have taken way too much stuff from Comfort. I wonder if Karak Ziflin is still alive. If they are, we could at least destroy them. We need dwarfs to kill, damn it. You're gonna go here. You're actually immune to attrition. Or at least you're immune to vampiric attrition. The question is... Oh, wow, you can't go into channeling stance? Wait, what? Why can't you go into channeling stance? Drycha, are you also not able to go into channeling stance? Huh. I didn't realize that. Considering we've been having trouble with magic, it's a little bit unfortunate. You are going to, I guess, go here. Wait, won't we heal in friendly territory as well? Yeah, we will. I assume we can reach these guys, but let's move a little bit closer anyway. I feel like they'll run, but if they don't, it won't matter, because we're going to use World Roots to jump here, and then hit Nashrek's lair right after, and then maybe Fallen King Mountain. We could sack it for the purpose of getting a battle win against the dwarfs, and I still think we need to get all of these territories to become ours, so we'll start on that, but I guess we're gonna have to do so next time. Yeah, I think this is probably the place or the time to call this episode. The next time we will, as I said, try to get these territories and then maybe go after the dwarfs. Presuming that Akka doesn't need to move south to start attacking the Slaves of Zar, which is certainly a question, but the thing is, once again, the dwarfs seem like it's more critical to destroy them and then give Vlad their stuff. Then we can always move to the Slaves of Zar. Keeping the Silver Pinnacle around, or rather the Lamian Sisterhood around, isn't all that critical. Also, next time, it looks like Drycha will be able to completely finish off / destroy the faction belonging to NAKAI. It doesn't look like they're very willing to peace out at -31, so we'll see. I'd really love for them to stick around because they're good against the Dark Elves. They always seem to do quite a bit of damage to that faction. But at the end of the day, if we have to give all these territories to the Cathians, we can just do that and trade them for alliances and then allow the Cathians to deal with all of these problems themselves. We'll see if that all works out, but stay tuned for whether it does. Don't forget to leave a like and comment. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.